All right, so for our second set of videos, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about something called hypokinesis, which means too little movement. But we're going to first start with a question. And that question is, if you had to make a hypothesis as to what percentage of deaths in the United States are due to inactivity, what would you predict? Because that's what a hypothesis is. It's a prediction that you can test. So what would you predict would be the total number of deaths due to inactivity? By the end of these series of lectures, you'll be able to answer this question. Because what we're going to be talking about today are these hypokinetic diseases. The idea that we are living a modern life that's very different than the environment and than the stressors that were really important during the process of our evolution. And so what are the consequences of that? So by the end of these lectures, you will be able to differentiate regular activity from hypokinesis. You'll be able to define the parameters of regular activity, and you'll be able to tell me which one of those or which of those parameters, so is it how long, how hard, how often, which of those is going to be the most important for benefits to our health. You'll be able to describe the change in physical activity that's occurred over the last few centuries. You're probably able to do that already. Most of us know that from the time that we were mostly farming and gathering to our current situation, especially right now when we're all under essentially a house arrest where we have to stay in our houses, our activity level is way down now. But even before the shelter-in-place orders, we were losing our activity. You'll also be able to explain the relationship between hypokinesis, too little movement, and chronic diseases and disorders like cardiovascular disease, hypertension, obesity, this thing called metabolic syndrome when your metabolic system starts breaking down, and type 2 diabetes. And you will be able to compare the mortality rate due to inactivity, and you'll be able to compare it to other factors like diabetes or obesity or hypertension. And then lastly, you'll be able to assess whether it's body fat, because you're fatter, that you have poorer health outcomes, or is it because lower fitness that people now have a poorer health outcome. All right, so all of these things are the things we're going to talk about in the next few lectures.